We're going to go back to order of operations that we were doing earlier this year, except now we're going to add exponents. So remember the order of operations. P stands for? E stands for? D and M? Right, and right. So we're not really doing anything new here, we're just putting it together. Okay. So in this question, what would I do first? Emily? Yes. What is 3 to the third? 27 plus 2 to the third. And then we add those two and we get 3. That's it. Here, exponents first, so I don't touch the 3, I don't touch the minus, but 2 to the third, like we saw previously, is 8. And what is 3 subtract 8? Negative 5. What would I do first here? So
do the parentheses first.
And then I get
5.
And I still have to raise that to the third. And you can keep it in parentheses if you want. You don't need it. And 5 to the third. 5 times 5 times 5.
125.
125. Good. So those are pretty straightforward. The next step, a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. Definitely going to need a calculator for the second one. Okay, what am I going to do first in this one? The parentheses inside. So I'm not touching the brackets or the square. Inside, I'm not touching the 2 and the times. The only thing I'm doing is negative 3 to the third. What is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3?
Negative 27.
Negative 27. And then I still have to subtract 6. So I got to work inside the brackets. What do I do first? Tell me. Which gives us? I think you squared 27. Just 2 times negative 1, negative 54 minus 6 is squared still. And negative 54, and then I go down another 6. Negative 60. And remember, finally, negative 60 squared, which is going to be positive because a negative times a negative is positive.
3,600.
Excellent. Try the next one on your own. See if you can figure out the next one on your own. Or at least a few steps from it. Lots of exponents in this one. But remember, parentheses first. What are we going to do first? Yeah, so we're going to work in here first. And we can do the exponents in here. 18 squared plus 5 to the 0 is 1. And don't forget, we still have to add those in square. I could do this at the same time. Negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 gives us
125.
negative 125. All right. What's next? Gotta add these two inside the parentheses. And now I got to square the 325, which definitely you need a calculator for. So what's that going to be? Over 90,000 something? I don't know.
1,056,2,5.
Yeah, 1,000. And I still have to divide that by negative 125. And that should give us a clean answer, I guess.
845.
So the numbers get a little big sometimes, but don't let that throw you. Okay, it's still the same procedure. Okay, finally, we got a little bit of a word problem here. And basically this word problem gives you a formula to tell you how much chlorine to put into a pool. Because you don't want to put too little chlorine into a pool because then it won't work. Or you don't want to put too much chlorine into a pool, otherwise everybody's going to be like bleached white. Okay, hair and everything. So you definitely want to be careful. So really all we're doing here is we're using order of operations to calculate this. Now remember, the one thing you got to remember here, I'm just going to rewrite this. Whenever you have a division bar, like this, what that means is you're going to do everything up top first, everything on the bottom, and divide at the end. Well, there's nothing to do up top. But on the bottom, what are you going to do first? Yeah. So 2 times, careful, 16, plus pi times, what's 1 to the third? 1. What am I going to do next on the bottom?
Multiplication.
Right, I'm going to do the multiplications. So 2 times 16,
32.
32, plus, well, pi times 1 is just, let's say pi is 3.14. And 3.14 times 1 is just itself. I still have to add the two numbers on the bottom. So 690 divided by 35.14. Now I can finally divide. Definitely need a decimal for this, or a decimal calculator for this. What do we get? 1 decimal for this. Finley?
I think it's
19.6 or 19.7? 7, that's okay. And what are the units? Units would be grams per meters cubed. So you always got to be careful with, to get word problems, usually you're going to have to put units in. So the question said, the correct amount of chloride to put in is around 20. Well, we're pretty close, so I think we're good. Okay? Any questions? Okay.